You're in Braves country.
On a beer? 7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. You're listening live, and the scene is the Grapefruit League down in Florida. We're set to bring you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. Here's your starting lineups for today's action. Leading off and playing left field for the Pittsburgh Pirates, it's Jack Sawinski, batting .375 on the young spring training season. Brian Reynolds batting second, playing right, batting .235. O'Neal Cruz is in center field and batting third, .214 on the spring training year. Andrew McCutchen, batting cleanup, the designated hitter, batting .286. Rodriguez is behind home plate, batting .417 in the spring. Yorkie is at second base and batting sixth, the .222 clip. DJ Stewart is the first baseman, .316 on the year with a 1 home run. And IKF is at shortstop and batting .267. Triolo is at third and batting ninth. On the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates, it's Burrows, and he'll be going head-to-head with Spencer Schwellenbach. Schwellenbach, here on the young season, has looked very good for your Atlanta Braves. We expect him to go about 4 innings. Leading off for your Atlanta Braves is Jerickson Profar in left field, batting .200 in the spring. Ozzie Albies batting second, playing second. .083, 1 for 12 on the year. Austin Riley batting third, playing third. Batting .278 with a home run and 2 RBI. Matt Olson has 2 home runs, 3 RBI, and batting cleanup, batting .235. Marcell Ozuna is 3 for 16 with the home run and 2 RBI. He's your designated hitter. While Brian De La Cruz is in right field and batting sixth, batting .353 this spring. Michael the Hawk Harris is in center field patrolling for your Atlanta Braves. He's 2 for 16 on the spring, while Drake Baldwin is behind home plate and batting eighth. Orlando Arcia, the shortstop, batting ninth, 1 for 12. Baldwin, by the way, is batting .375. Should be a good day here at the ballpark. They announced a little while ago that the wind is blowing out about 10 miles an hour here at Cool Today Park, and it's about 77 degrees. Should be a pretty nice day for baseball. You might get to see the ball fly out a little bit. We've had some low-scoring games here recently. All right, we're just about set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Let's go ahead and hit roll call here in a flash. Well, it's about that time. Grab you a cold one. Find you an armchair. Atlanta Braves baseball right here on Braves Country Radio. Your modern-day superstation is in its 5th season of bringing you pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves and our one-of-a-kind production. Take us anywhere you go for over 170 Atlanta Braves ball games. Please like and subscribe today. Join the country club. Thank you to all the country club members. You help support Braves Country Radio.
Get this bus moving.
Stop.
Come back.
Too late.
Roll call. Yeah, roll call.
You're in Braves country.
Good to see everybody in the chat. We'll be opening up the other pages here in a little bit, but we always start off with YouTube. So if you want to jump in, you're listening on external radio or elsewhere, we're at Braves Country Radio, youtube.com/@BravesCountry. Good to see everyone in the chat. We've got John. We've got Envy. We've got Lexi. We've got Pushing Buttons. Thought I saw a few more. Let me scroll through. Ron, good to see you. And Travis, good to see you. Atlanta Braves will be in their home spring uniforms with the red ball caps. Didn't do the short pregame show today because really there's not a lot to go over that we can't go over during the actual ball game. So you didn't miss here in the spring games, we normally do about a 5, maybe 10-minute pregame show. There wasn't as much to go over. So the big thing that I'm looking at today is this lineup, but we'll talk more about that on the other side. Let's go ahead and hit the intro. We'll be back in a flash after your national anthem.
Join us now for another Braves ball game. Yes, sir. Why, we'll send you the play-by-play. And your seat right bang behind home plate. So, let's see what's going on the docket. This is the one we've been waiting for. This is it. This makes you feel like it's spring and baseball. No more measles and free tickets to the circus.
You're in Braves country.
Disorderly conduct will not be tolerated. Please respect your fellow fans and refrain from any unruly behavior. Failure to comply with these guidelines will result in ejection. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We direct your attention now to home plate.
Please remain standing. We call your attention to our bands here today. They will be jointly directed. And now, another fixture, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air,
Good afternoon, Braves country. We are just about set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Beautiful morning here in Cool Today Park. We just talked about the weather, and it is sunshiny. The wind's blowing out about 10 miles an hour. Braves wearing their home spring training gear with the white pants, blue tops, Atlanta across the chest in red, tomahawk underneath in red, all outlined in white. Dark navy belts, red ball caps, the spring training ball caps with the red bill, red ball cap with the blue bill, and the red ball caps. A few of them, including Jerkson Profar, he's really taking a shine to the red cleats. Most of the guys have the white cleats on with the red outline. Blue A across the top on the ball cap, and you'll notice if you grab one, it has got a spring training 2025 logo on the side. Kind of has like an F and an L with a 25 in between, with the diamond and palm tree off to the side, representing Florida. Pittsburgh Pirates are wearing their classic road uniforms with the gray pants, black top, yellow writing. It's good to see everybody in the chat. We just did roll call a little bit ago, but we'll continue to say hi as we are about to welcome in our Facebook crowd. Sawinski is set up behind home at home plate. Drake Baldwin will get a chance to watch him. He's assumed to be the starter on opening day. And yes, sir, it is baseball time in Braves country. And the first pitch on the way from Spencer Schwellenbach is a P at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1, 94 miles an hour. The 0-1 righty-lefty matchup. Bender down and in. 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Braves nothing, Pirates nothing. The pitch on the way is right there at the knees. Look like the fastball once again. This time he got up to 96 miles an hour. We're here for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves all spring long, and we're going to be doing just about every game in 2025 when the regular season hits. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and lifted deep into left field, drifting over close to the foul line, but not much to worry about there as Jerkson Profar makes the easy F7 catch in your scorecard. One away. One down. We'll get another left-handed bat as Brian Reynolds comes to the plate. First pitch on the way. Fastball just below the knees. 97. Spencer Schwellenbach really dialing it up. It's 1-0. Good to see you, Anthony and Robert. The 1-0 swung on, and that ball is going to get stroked into center field. It's going to be down for a base hit. It's the first base hit by the Buccos this afternoon. 1 on, 1 out here in the top of the first. Braves are minus 170 on the money line. The over-under in this game was 9.5. O'Neal Cruz coming to the plate. One of my favorite players in Major League Baseball. He is now playing center field. First came up left side of the infield. They were trying him out at short and third and now have put him in left field. First pitch on the way is a fastball down below the knees. It's 1-0. He has some of the hardest hit balls in all of baseball. Just they haven't been able to get him to get the ball up as much as they would like. And his on-base percentage is up as much, but he is towering 6'7" speedster with power. The 1-0. Foul straight back, 1-1. 1-1 count. Top of the first inning. 1 on, 1 out. We usually say deuces, but right now aces are wild. The 1-1. Down and in. 1-2. Schwellenbach, you would expect him to pitch about 4 innings. This is the time of the spring that you expect him to get into that zone somewhere around the 60-pitch mark. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball misses outside, 2-2. And remember, once again, in spring training, it's a rule change that took place a few years back, but you can pull your pitcher and then bring him back in to get work in one of the following innings. The 3-1. Swung on, chop foul, high chopper, but rolling towards the first base dugout, 3-2. Full count to O'Neal Cruz. Top of the first inning. 1 on, 1 out. Schwellenbach brings it. Swung on and ripped towards first, but foul once again. We'll do it again. Our next broadcast is Monday, 1:05 first pitch. We've got the Tampa Bay Rays. On Monday. Schwellenbach's going to flip it over to first to keep the runner close by. Next week, we are on the air, all 1:05 first pitches, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. The payoff pitch. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him to chase that bender down and in. 1-2 away. Good pitch by Schwellenbach. That's a pitch he's really been working on this spring. It's a nasty bender with basically coming from 11-5 action into the left-handed hitter. Righty-righty matchup now. McCutchen, the veteran, standing at the plate and takes one at the knees. It's 0-1. Andrew McCutchen coming back yet for another year. He is 38 years old. He's trying to hit some milestones before he hangs up the cleats. As the 0-1 misses outside, 1-1. 1-1 count. He's got a decent chance of hitting 350 home runs before the end of the season, about 20 away. 1-1 down and away, 2-1. If he decides to play a few more years, he could be chasing 400, but I don't know if he's got that left in him. From Fort Meade, Florida, was drafted back in 2005. The 2-1 pitch, slice foul and out of play, 2-2. Always been one of the fan favorites, and his heyday in Pittsburgh, he was one of my favorite players to watch. The 2-2. Schwellenbach inside, misses, pulled the string on that one, just faded in off the plate, full count. The full count from Schwell. Down and away, ball 4. So he walks the batter, and now you got runners on first and second, 2 outs. Rodriguez, the batter, the left-handed bat. Schwellenbach stepping off the rubber for a second. First and second, 2 outs. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball, man, is he getting squeezed there? That one looked pretty good. 97 off the paint. It's evens up the count 1-1. So 1-1 count. First and second, 2 outs. The pitch. Fastball swung on, and that ball sliced towards left field, drifting back just before the warning track. Making the catch is Profar, and that'll end the inning. So they get a couple on, but fail to score. We come back to top of the order. Profar, Albies, Riley coming to the plate.
My favorite source of unnecessary stress is wanting to clean out my closet, but also knowing that 3 years from now, I may want to wear that shirt that has never actually fit.
Relax. Kids swallow quarters all the time.
Really?
Sure. If she craps out 2 dimes and a nickel, then you can start worrying, huh?
This is my most frustrating time of year as a professor at a gigantic state university. I have kids come to my Zoom office hours and they're wondering why they're failing. You're failing because you never came to class. That's all I talked about for the first couple of weeks. What the are you doing not coming to class and somehow you think you're going to pass and you want to break an extra credit? No. The main thing about college is going to class. So if you failed, you can recover. You can, I promise. Next semester. But get your head out of your ass. Go to class. Sit up front. Or admit maybe college isn't for you. And I'm not saying academically. I'm not saying you're dumb. I'm just saying, hey, if there's something else you want to be doing, go do it.
So hold on a second. You're telling me that if Mike Schmidt were to walk in here right now, you'd say, I'm sorry, we're all out. We're sold out, Mike?
Who is Mike Schmidt?
Who's Mike Schmidt? Bro, have some respect here, man. What are you talking about?
I don't know who Mike Schmidt is.
Come on, you don't know who Mike Schmidt is? He's only maybe the greatest third baseman in history and a legend in Philadelphia for all time.
When you're the greatest player that's ever played in an organization, name some of them. Ted Williams, Babe Ruth, Mike Schmidt, come on.
There's nothing Mike couldn't do on a baseball field. If you needed a homer, he got it. If you needed a hit, he got it. If you needed to play, he got it.
548 home runs and almost 1,600 RBIs. And the defense, we'd see plays that he made at third base. It was magical.
Welcome back. First pitch on the way to Jurickson Profar is up top for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0 from Burrows is in the dirt. 2-0. Count. Swing and a miss. Chase that one down and away. Looked like the changeup. 2-1. Good to see you, Charles. Anybody else out there viewing on now Facebook? And, of course, we got the YouTube channel. Give us a shout. The 2-1 misses. Ball 3-1. 3-1 count. Nothing. Your score. Jurickson Profar, the newly signed Atlanta Brave. The 3-1 swing and a miss. Fastball right down Main Street. Full count. Infield is back into the right. The payoff pitch. Just below the knees, but called for a strike. One away. Profar didn't argue it. There is no ABS in this game. We've only seen the one game we did versus the Marlins a couple of Fridays ago. That's the only one that we've seen with the ABS system with the Braves in play. Well, I'm hoping to see a little more of it. First pitch on the way is a fastball, misses high. It's 1-0. Righty-lefty matchup. Ozzie Albies with the open stance from the left side, the 1-0 in the dirt. Skips back to the backstop, 1-1. A lot of college basketball going on today. We'll probably update you a little bit. We'll do more of that as March Madness really picks up on the scoreboards. The 2-0 to Ozzie. Swing! That ball's hammered down the right field line, and that ball is down for a base hit. That's going to get down where the green grass grows. Ozzie Albies trucks around first with the head first slide in his second, and your Atlanta Braves have 1 on, 1 out. Let's get things going here early on in Braves country. Runner on second, 1 out. Austin Riley, your batter. Kicks and fires. First pitch misses high and out of the zone. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Way outside wide on the slider, 2-0. 2-0 count. Righty. Olson stands on deck. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Just misses that one, 2-1. Two one count to Riley. The pitch pops it up. Foul and out of play over on the first base side. Not too far away from where the on-deck circle is. That evened up the count, 2-2. Runner at second, the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Riley slow on picking up those pitches. 2 away. I don't know if he's having a hard time with the release point or whatever, but he seemed like he was just a tick behind in that at bat. Matt Olson, your cleanup hitter. Righty lefty matchup. First pitch on the way to Olson's outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Matt Olson batting .235 on the spring, 2 home runs. The 1-0. Burrows spins and fires it over to second, and the ball almost found its way to the outfield. Ozzie was easily beating the play. In fact, the man behind the play, the shortstop, he wasn't nowhere near the bag. He just had to dive to stop that from going out to center field. The 1-0 from Burrows. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. Ozzie bouncing back and forth. He dives back to second. No throw from the catcher, but he did jump up like he was going to fire it down there. 1-1 count. Shortstop now inching his way to second. That offering is down and in, 2-1. The 2-1. Kicks and fires. Misses outside, 3-1. So a 3-1 count. Olson digs in. Here's the pitch. Outside wide, ball 4. Olson will head on down. Good to see you, Noah. Marcell Ozuna batting 5th in the order. He's been bouncing back and forth between 4th and 5th all spring. First pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Might have got a piece of it. Nonetheless, it's a strike. It's on 1. Good to see you, Oswaldo. The 0-1. Comes set, kicks and fires. Down and away, just misses the zone out there. 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Burrows brings it, swing and a miss, fastball, blew it right by him, 95 miles an hour, about letter high, 1-2. The 1-2, 2 on, 2 out. Burrows taking his time. I'm surprised he hasn't got hit with the pitch comm yet. The pitch on the way, swung on, sliced foul down the right field line. We'll do it again. Welcome in. We got 5 new members via James. Swipe left, Kevin Parker, Ken Scott. The 1-2 pitch. Slice foul down the line. We'll do it again. Ozuna really trying to fight his way off. I think Thorough and Kim Rogers as well. Kimberly, I should say. The 1-2 count. Pitch by Burrows. Misses high, 2-2. Today, the lineup reads Profar, Ozzie, Riley, Olsen, and Ozuna. Previously, Ozzy's been much lower in the lineup. They've had Riley hitting second, Olsen fourth, and Ozuna fifth. The 2-2 in the dirt, 3-2. And you don't know if it's them playing the hot hand or if they're just experimenting. No one's really torn the cover off in the spring so far. Drake Baldwin is hitting 375 in the lineup today, and De La Cruz is batting 353. But other than that, no one's really tearing it up. The payoff pitch, swing, lifted high, deep, into center field. Well, that wind, push it. It's off the wall. That's going to get down where the green grass grows. Poorly played by the center fielder out there, O'Neal Cruz. And it's going to be a bases-clearing double, your Atlanta Braves. Lead it 2-0. He just looked lost out there. I don't know if he lost it in the sun or if he was assuming that he was at the wall, but he stopped with about 2 or 3 feet before the wall there on the warning track. Remember, he's new to the outfield. And he just kind of stopped where you would expect most major league center fielders to probably catch that ball. And he's definitely got the height. He's 6'7". We mentioned that a second ago. They're going to go out there and talk to Burrows to kind of get everything squared away. No, actually, they're going to pull him, so we might see him in the second inning. So we got a pitching change in Braves country already, knocking them out the box. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves country.
I haven't had sex in so long, I'm afraid I'll forget how to moan. What if I up and I bark?
You know, it seems like 1 minute you're young and free, and the next minute you're just excited that your Walmart delivery of groceries didn't have any substitutions or out of stock items.
Hi, ladies. How you doing? I want to kill you. Oh, yeah. Take a number, honey.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the solution to my anxiety is not compulsively drinking coffee and scrolling my phone for 5 hours a day, but I'm going to keep trying just in case.
Somebody's still a little touchy about losing last year's color war.
No.
She was on Team Blue, or as I like to refer to them as Team Blueser, and I was on white.
That's good.
And if you ain't white, you ain't right.
Have you learned nothing?
He's regarded as the best third baseman in Major League Baseball history. I wish I played defense like him. I wish I had power like him.
Long drive to left field. He buried it.
Mike Schmidt was a star.
This is the greatest player in the history of the franchise.
Number 48 for Smith.
Mike would be on that Mount Rushmore of sports icons in Philadelphia.
Very few all-time greats. Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana. These all-time greats didn't get to play their entire career in one city. And if you have a guy that great and he plays his entire career in one city, it should be amazing.
But it wasn't always. Instead, the story of Michael Jack Schmidt is in fact a complicated tale. A saga of a superstar and a city may be best encapsulated by the words of the man himself, uttered along the way.
Philadelphia is the only city
where you can experience the thrill of victory one night and the agony of reading about it the next day.
Help support Braves Country Radio. Join the country club today. Welcome back. First pitch on the way to Brian De La Cruz is in the dirt for a ball. It's 1-0. If you're just joining us, Marcell Ozuna hit a bases clearing double. The Atlanta Braves lead it 2-0. Poorly played ball by the center fielder, O'Neal Cruz, but nonetheless, the 1-0 pitch swung on. That ball is going to get sliced into center field, and Ozuna slams on the brakes at third, then thinks about deking a throw from the center fielder, Cruz. But Tui was holding them up. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Just kind of slice that one into right field. And De La Cruz, man, he continues his hot toward pace. He's batting .389 this spring. He may get the opening day start just because he's been so hot. Michael Harris II comes to the plate, righty-lefty. First pitch way high. Almost went to the backstop. Good play there by the catcher of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Rodriguez had to leap to the sky to keep that from going behind him. The 1-0 swung on and ripped deep down the right field line, but foul. That strong wind that's pushing really more right to left center was not strong enough to keep that thing fair. Man, he annihilated that ball. It's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch from Flowers, the reliever, is chopped foul. It's 1-2. Braves 2, Pirates nothing. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, bottom of the first. And a beautiful sunshiny day here in Venice, Florida at Cool Today Park with the palm trees blowing in the wind. The 1-2. Slice foul towards the right field side. We'll do it again. Most of the patrons are covered by shade here at Cool Today Park. They may want a little sunshine as cool as it is and that wind going. So a 1-2 count. Flowers, the right-hander, fires one up high and out of the zone. 2-2. Braves start their season out on the left coast this year, the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That one had pretty nasty movement on it as it dove under his knees, and that'll end the inning. But not for your Atlanta Braves. Put 2 on the board. It's 2-0 here in Cool Today Park.
Do you see how that's incredibly offensive?
Yes, I do. That's why I said it.
Just because I'm not doing anything doesn't mean I'm not busy. Doing nothing is a very thought out, planned activity for me. So
if we continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat, where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness. Eventually, we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. The martyrs of history were not fools, and our honored dead didn't die in vain.
Hi, y'all. It's time for Appalachian Word of the Day. The word of the day is marinara. How fast do you think that car get up to? About 120 marinara?
Love my wife to death, but don't ask questions you don't want answers to. She asked me this morning if I would take a bullet for her. Would I take a bullet for you? Yes, but we both know that you are 100% the reason we're getting shot at in the first place.
Philly was known as a great sports town if you performed. If you didn't perform, they would boo you in a minute.
Sports fans in other cities enjoy sports. Sports fans in Philadelphia derive their life's joy from the outcome of games from their teams.
If you're associated with the Philadelphia media or town, you look for the negatives. I don't know if there's something about their upbringing, or they have too many hoagies or too much cream cheese.
I think they appreciated him, but they wanted to see more emotions on your sleeve. I'm not saying he didn't want to win. He wanted to win as bad as I did, as bad as Bull did, as bad as anybody. But he kept things bottled up a lot. And I think he got punished for that by the fans.
You bum! You stink! You stink, you bum!
Welcome back to Braves Country. Nick Yorkie, the batter, righty-righty matchup. Schwellenbach back to work. Fastball on the inner track, 94, just misses. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Oh, I'm sorry, they called that a strike. Well, that was an inside strike. The 0-1's down and in, 1-1. 1-1 count. Looking at the pitch contract on that is the 1-1 swing and a miss, 1-2. That pitch was the first pitch was maybe 3 inches off the plate. Of course, there is no ABS at this ball game. The 1-1-2 slice back foul. We'll do it again. That's one of those ones that was so obvious. I just assumed he didn't get the call on that one. The 1-2 count. Down and in, 2-2. Looking forward to the All-Star game this year in Atlanta. We'll be there. The 2-2. Just below the knees, but called for a strike. Caught looking. Strike 3. Yorkie doesn't like it. He is taking his sweet time walking away from home plate. That'll bring DJ Stewart to the plate, batting .316 on the year. Former New York Met, played his college ball at Florida State. First pitch on the way is right there at the knees. It's 0-1. Always been a really good hitter, but more of a platoon option from the left side. The 0-1 misses high and out of the zone, 1-1. Won a couple of hitting awards in college. It's a fairly high prospect when he came in. The 1-1, swing and a miss, 1-2. And he has had the Braves number. His one home run in the spring was a game we did earlier this year. When he was with the Mets, he always seemed to get base hits against the Braves. 1-2's in the dirt, 2-2. Good to see you, Edward. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Pulled the string on that one. Good pitch. 2 away. Sure, we'll talk about this quite a bit during the regular season, but our game plan for the All-Star game weekend is the first pitch on the way from Schwellenbach is up top for a strike. It's 0-1. We're going to figure out somewhere to meet Sunday evening for drinks and whatnot is the 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. And then probably hang out again on that Monday before the Home Run Derby. We're going to try to go to the Home Run Derby, but if it's a little ridiculously priced, then we may not. The 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, and that will end the inning. Striking out the side is Mr. Schwellenbach. We'll be back in a flash. Schwell of a good start.
God, when people tell me you're going to regret that in the morning, I sleep till noon because, I'm a problem solver.
My dentist was like, nope, not standard procedure to get general anesthesia for a teeth cleaning. But I love going to the dentist. You get to tell them that you floss every day, and then they floss you and your gums bleed. And then they know you're a liar. And you get to have a suction tube that sucks the inside of your cheek. And they go, raise your hand if it hurts. And then they stop, and then they just keep going. And you get to lie in a chair and stare directly into the strongest lamp on planet Earth. And they wait until you have 7 instruments in your mouth before they ask you a question. And their cleaning pick device strikes every nerve on your teeth. And the whole experience is just uncomfortable. I love going to the dentist.
AIDS, I got AIDS. I got AIDS. We're coming through.
Yeah,
Coming
sorry. I'm
through.
the doctor. My patient's got to get to the front of the line because he has AIDS.
I got the AIDS.
Got it from a gay guy in the 80s.
I'm not gay. I mean, but there's two kind of AIDS. There's the AIDS and the needle-based AIDS. No AIDS are bad. There's no good AIDS. But I'm telling you, like I said, this is not the gay AIDS.
Philly is a blue-collar, passionate, we want to see your heart every game, every at-bat, and Mike was not like that.
Fans, they want to see the human side of people, and that's where the vulnerability comes in. You have to open yourself up and let people see that. And he was very good at keeping people from seeing inside.
You're trying your damnedest. You strike out and they boo you. I act like it doesn't bother me, like I don't hear anything the fans say, but the truth is I hear every word and it kills me.
I mean, it hurt me because this is my idol. This is the best player in the game. Why would you boo this guy?
Can you imagine Mike Schmidt being so successful, and yet sometimes it wasn't enough? And then you start thinking, what is enough?
That's an interesting question.
Welcome back. Thank you for the donation, James. First pitch on the way as we come back. Bottom of the second is inside, called for a strike. It's 0-1. Drake Baldwin, your batter, the heir apparent to the starting catching position here in Atlanta, the 0-1. Swung on and pops it up. Back behind home plate, in between home and third base in foul territory in the crowd. It bangs off the concrete in front of the front row there near the on-deck circle on the Pittsburgh side and then bounces high into the crowd. It's 0-2. So an 0-2 count, righty-lefty. Here's the pitch. High and misses. 1-2. Braves 2, Pirates nothing. Burrows back to work. The 1-2 swung on in, dribbled in between second and short, backhanded, and making the play, but good play by the second baseman over there for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yorkie, he had to backhand. He hit a lot of ground to cover and threw out Baldwin, who is a catcher, but does run well for a catcher, but he's still a catcher, one away. And in the middle of the spring, I'm sure they've all been told, don't go busting it out of the box and blow your hamstring, especially in the catcher position after losing Murphy for the next 4 to 6 weeks. First pitch to Arcia misses, 1-0. The 1-0 swung on, sliced back foul, 1-1. And this is one of these days that I'm jealous I'm not at the ballpark. It is a beautiful day. Nice little breeze going on a Saturday afternoon. 1-1. Just grabs the outer edge, 1-2. Burrows was knocked out in the first inning, and they brought him back with the new spring training rules. So he is allowed to stay in there. 1-2 count. The pitch on the way. I saw your comment, James. Right there. Misses down and away, 2-2. 2-2 count. Righty. Here's the pitch. Swung on and sizzled over to short. Should be an easy 6-3 put out. It is. Arcia slowly jogging down the line to away. Once again, we can't get upset with the players during the spring training because they are told by the staff, do not push it. They want the guys getting used to running, coming out of the box, all that stuff. And if you see them do that in the middle of a pennant race in September, then you can lose your mind. First pitch on the way to Profar is swung on and slapped back foul. It's 0-1. Jurickson Profar, who started out pretty hot beginning of spring training, is now batting just 182, the 0-1. Popped it up. Chased that one. That's going to go on the right over there by the Braves on deck circle. Making the catch is The hind catcher for the Pirates, Rodriguez, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Braves lead it 2-0. We go to the bottom of the third here in Braves country. Let's shut them down, Schwellenbach.
Hi, y'all. It's time for Appalachian Word of the Day. The word of the day is diesel. Don't worry about buying me a new pair of pants. Diesel fit.
You know, I normally don't root against teams because I think that's not the. I don't give a rat's ass who win these games. Of what? Just want to say, so I never root. I don't care who wins. I mean, I just want the season to be over so we can go play golf and fish.
All right, let's.
But I root. The Lakers are such wussies. It's just really pissing me off. And I got to tell you something.
Oh no! Hey, we've got a guest standing by.
Well, the Lakers still suck when we get back from this interview.
Okay.
Hey, where's that Miami Dolphins ornament I sent you? You didn't hang it up?
I got my Jets ornament up there.
So?
So? I'm not going to cancel out my Jets ornament with the freaking Dolphins.
What, are you crazy? One ornament doesn't cancel out another.
They're both in the AFC East.
Mike Schmidt was born and raised in Dayton, Ohio, where he grew up to be a star athlete in 3 sports: baseball, basketball, and football. But a left knee injury his sophomore year ended his football career in high school. And when he later needed surgery on his right knee too, it looked like any dreams of playing sports beyond that were over.
So I started thinking about, well, what am I going to do with my life? And I went to school to become an architect. That was the one subject in high school that I really enjoyed. So that's one of the reasons that I went to Ohio University. I saw myself as an architect like Jason Alexander on Seinfeld.
But Schmidt did try out for Ohio's baseball team, and he made it as a walk-on his freshman year, before becoming the Bobcats' starting shortstop as a sophomore.
That was the turning point in my baseball life, where that job opened up for me to play shortstop on the varsity team, and from that point on, I became a player.
You're listening to Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. First pitch swinging as we come out of the break, and that's going to drop in for a single into right field. Triolo, the third baseman, took a fastball on the outside part of the plate, just kind of slapped it into right. 1 on, nobody out. Braves lead it 2-0. Righty-lefty matchup as the lineup flips back over to Sawinski. First pitch. Good slider. It was right there at the knees. Bad call by Blue. It's 1-0. 1-0. Kicks and fires. In the dirt. Almost gets Sawinski on that back leg. 2-0. 2-0 count. Top of the third. The 2-0. Runner fakes like he's going in the pitch. I'm not sure where that one missed. 3-0. Count. Home plate umpires, Ryan Wills. We didn't see a lot of him last year, but I am not impressed so far. The 3-1. That ball's belted high in the sky into right field. The wind's going to knock it down. Making the catch is De La Cruz. F9 in your scorecard just before the warning track went away. Real quick on your out-of-town scoreboard. Out-of-town scoreboard, your American Rebel out-of-town scoreboard. Rays and Orioles, bottom of the third, 0-0. Cardinals lead the Nationals 5-3 in the 7th. They're going to flip it over the first to keep the runner close by. None of y'all saw it earlier this week, but Mike Soroka's looking pretty good in Washington Nationals camp. He struck out the side. It was either yesterday or the day before. And the movement on his pitches looks so much better than it did a couple of years ago when he was last with the Braves. First pitch by Schwell is right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Phillies 3, Blue Jays 0 in the third. Twins and Red Sox are scoreless early on. 0-1 in the dirt, 1-1. Blue Jays and Tigers scoreless as well. The Mets and Marlins play later on this early this evening at 6:40. You're looking for baseball later tonight. Got a lot of 3 o'clock games out there in the Cactus League, and they also have a 6:05 Yankees Astros tonight as well. Surprised they don't have a Saturday night game like they normally do out there. The 1-1 slice down the left field line, giving chase, and that ball's going to drop in front of Profar. That'll get down for a base hit, and the Pirates have runners on first and second, 1 out. The ball just kind of died there in front of Profar's feet. I think he gives more of an effort if this is the regular season. He was jogging over there. I think you probably see him make a decent attempt on that if that ball's hit in April. O'Neal Cruz comes to the plate. He's the center fielder. Let that ball go over his head, but he can change this game with one swing. He's got a lot of power. First pitch down and in, it's 1-0. And I don't know if he's trying to mimic Juan Soto, but he just did one of those shimmy steps towards the pitcher's mound after that pitch, the 1-0. Down below the knees, 2-0. So a 2-0 count. Did y'all see as the 2-0 pitch from Schwellenbach swung on, ripped over to short. It's going to be a 6, 4, 3. Attempt at a double play, but a wide throw in the bag by Ozzie. I don't think it would have mattered. O'Neal Cruz, even though he was busting it down the line, beat that throw with ease. So runners on the corners, 1 out. Lost my train of thought. I can't remember what I was about to bring up. I know we went over the Soroka thing. There was something else that was on my mind, but I'm sure it'll come back to me. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. First pitch on the way in the dirt, 1-0. It's showing first and second on the MLB screen. There it goes. It just changed. But it is runners on the corners, 2 outs. Oh, I know what I was going to bring up with the Juan Soto. Did you see the unreal expectations that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. posted to the Blue Jays as a contract offer? Schwellenbach flips it over to first. He said that he was, and he acted like he was giving them a deal. That's the funniest part of this. The 1-0. Swung on, ripped into left field, and that's going to score a run. Run comes in to score from third as Triolo makes it, and O'Neal Cruz goes from first to third. Here comes the throw, just in before the tag. That was a close play. I'd love to see a close-up of that. I don't know if they've got the camera angle here in spring. Yeah, it looks like he just beat the throw. Riley lost his balance, bent backwards, but I believe he's all right. So runners on the corners, 2 outs. Braves lead it 2-1. Righty-lefty matchup, first pitch on the way up top for a strike. It's 0-1. He sent a deal of 15 years, $600 million to a first baseman. The 0-1 misses high. 1-1. A first baseman who has been famously known to not come in shape into camp. Now, he's in shape this year, but he has been infamously known to let his weight go up and down. 1-1 count. Swung on, lifted into left field. Making the diving attempt is Profar, but it just gets under his glove, and the game is tied 2-2. Very, very good effort by Profar on that one. Laid out for it. It actually goes off his glove. I thought it went under his glove. It went off his glove. He was out in front of it. So a 2-2 game, top of the third. Nick Yorkie, the batter. First pitch on the way is right there at the knees. 1-0. First and second, 2 outs, though your screen says loaded. Now they fixed it. The 1-0. Swung on, chops it over to second. Ozzy's got it, fires it over to first, and he'll get Norkey just in the nick of time to end the inning. But not before the Pirates have tied it up. We'll grab the bats when we come back here in Braves country. 2-2. Back in a flash. On this date in baseball history, March 8th, 1900, the National League decides to downsize to 8 teams for the upcoming season. They eliminate the senior circuit's franchises in Baltimore, Cleveland, Louisville, and Washington. The remaining 8 cities will stay the same for over a half-century until the Boston Braves leave to head to Milwaukee. On March 8, 1923, Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis allows pitcher Rube Benton to return to the major leagues despite the left-handers admitting to having prior knowledge of the 1919 World Series fix. The 32-year-old southpaw, who went 6+ seasons with the Giants before sitting out the 1922 season, returns to the Reds for 3 years, compiling a record of 30-29 during his second tour on the team. We bet you didn't know that. On this date in 1930, Babe Ruth inks a 2-year deal for $160,000 with the New York Yankees, keeping him the highest paid player of all time. The team's GM, Ed Barrow, predicted at the time no one will ever be paid more. March 8, 1946, Tucson's High Corbett Field hosts Arizona's first spring training game. The Cleveland Indians beat the New York Giants 3-1 in the inaugural Cactus League contest. On this date in 1966, in a pregame ceremony before an inter-squad contest in St. Petersburg, Florida, the Mets announced the election of their former manager, Casey Stengel, to the Hall of Fame. The 75-year-old benefited from a new rule by the Baseball Writers Committee on veterans that can make any manager, umpire, or executive 65 or older eligible for the induction 6 months after retiring, bypassing the traditional 5-year wait. And that's your Braves Country Radio on this date in baseball history. Welcome back. First pitch on the way. Swung on and missed by Ozzy Albies. It's 0-1. I didn't see the comment earlier, Charles. I remember Lightenberg. He had those like Beverly Hills 90210 type chops, sideburns. And I think he kind of had like a kind of a mullet kicking too. The 1-1 from Burrows. Pitch misses out of the zone, 2-1. You can get it live. I'd say take the over in this game because this umpire is squeezing the zone. The 2-1, slap foul down the line, 2-2. That, you top that off in the fact that the wind's blowing out, we might get an old-fashioned shootout. It's 2-2 count. Swung on and lifted. High into center field, drifting back at the warning track, making the catches O'Neal Cruz. One away. Cruz just looks so raw out there in center field. I'm just a little surprised that that's where they put him at. If you're not in love with him playing in the infield, I'm just a little shocked that they don't put him in one of the corners. That is a lot of territory to cover. And he's got the speed, but he looks lost every time a ball's hitting the sky. That's going to do it. They're going to go to the bullpen. Looks like they got a right-hander coming in for the Pirates. We'll introduce them when we come back here in Braves country. 2-2, bottom of 3, Pirates and Bravos.
You're my 32nd lover.
You ain't been with that many men, Haley.
No. My 32nd lover.
Were you ever crazy about somebody back in the day? I'm talking like 20 or 30 years ago. Only to see them now and think to yourself, I'm glad I missed that boat.
Why does beer taste much better on a Friday? It's like it knows.
If they caused you to open your notes app, they ain't it. Now for the back row. If they caused you to open your notes app, move on.
Suspect's feet smell like hot dog water.
I can't help it. They're always sweaty.
I think it's important to go do social activities once in a while, so you can remember why you prefer staying at home.
I went on to become all Mid-American Conference player and an All-American, and I kept seeing more scouts in the stands at Ohio University, and my confidence rose. And I just felt all of a sudden like it was a real possibility that I might get drafted.
He'd be the first pick in the second round of the 1971 draft for the Philadelphia Phillies, then the lowliest franchise in baseball.
You have to understand that Philadelphia, in the era he played in, nobody had ever won anything. The Phillies had never won a World Series. They were the losingest franchise in the history of the sport.
And here's Schmidt coming in as a guy who they hope can be the savior. They hope can be the answer, the focal point, the foundation of a team that will win and bring that first championship to Philadelphia.
After a quick cameo in the big leagues in 1972, the highly touted prospect got the Phillies starting.
Welcome back. New right-hander on the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates. First pitch swinging by Riley, and he blasts that high and deep into center field. That's going to go off the wall. O'Neal Cruz poorly plays that one as well, and it is a one-out double by the rake. I don't know if it's because of the day game or whatever, but O'Neal Cruz just does not look like a center fielder in the major leagues. And you just wonder why they haven't thought about putting him maybe in left field. Maybe he could handle right field, I don't know, but that's one of the most difficult positions to play in all of sports, and you're just putting a guy out there because he's tall and fast. First pitch on the way to Olsen is swung on and lifted high down the left field line, fighting the sun and making the catch out there in left field for the second out is Zawinski. 2 down. And both Zawinski and Brian Reynolds have both played center field in their career. And I do know O'Neal Cruz was playing center field towards the end of last year in Pittsburgh. But you wonder if this is just kind of a tryout at this point, because I just don't see how you continue to put that guy out there in center field. And the more he struggles defensively, you know it's going to affect him at the plate. It always does. 2 down, Ozuna, your batter, after a couple of lookbacks to Riley. First pitch is outside for a ball. It's 1-0. 1-0. De La Cruz stands on deck. Ryan, the new pitcher, the 1-0. This is outside 2-0. So a 2-0 count. Ryder Ryan, 29-year-old from Huntersville, North Carolina, drafted by the Cleveland Indians back in 2016. The 2-0. Chopped over towards third. Coming in, making the 5-3 put out on the run. Good defensive play by Triolo, and that'll end the inning. Braves get one in scoring position, but can't get them home. It's 2-2. We go to the top of 4.
Do y'all ever wonder why we don't have giant drones and crazy flying over West Virginia? It's because we would have shot it down and stripped it for copper.
Dad, is there a reason Mom is just mad in her office right now?
Well, I'm sure she thinks there is.
Well, she's in there knocking stuff over, and I'm sure you have something to do with it.
I'm sure I do too.
Well, you gonna tell me what's going on, or what?
Last week she had to make an appointment for some event she wanted to do in Vegas. She was making hotel reservations, and I told her she had the wrong weekend, and she told me to shut up, I was stupid, and stay in my lane. So mind my own business.
Okay, and what happened?
And this week she found out that she had the wrong weekend, the wrong hotel, and when she tried to switch it around, it's all booked up solid.
So she's mad at herself?
You think she's in her office mad at herself, yelling? No.
Okay, well then who's she mad at?
She's mad at me.
You, why? You tried to help her.
Because she told me, hey, you're supposed to know when to stay in your lane, and you're supposed to know when not to stay in your lane and help me out.
Okay, then how are you supposed to tell her she's wrong without her getting more mad?
How do I know that? As soon as I figure that out, I'll let her know her boxes of Amazon products are out front in the grass getting rained on for the past 2 hours after she lectured me on what a sunny day today was supposed to be.
I'm blown away by the amount of people on my last post that keep commenting that it's a felony to shoot down the alien drones, as if anybody who would actually shoot down an alien drone and strip it for copper gives a if it's a felony.
In the minor leagues, obviously he was such a great athlete, he dominated. But in the big leagues, it doesn't happen overnight.
I wasn't able to make the necessary adjustments as a hitter. I hit under 200, under the Mendoza line, as they say, 196.
1973, the Phillies are playing the Dodgers, and my brother's a pitcher for the Phillies, my brother Kim. So my family goes to the game, and Schmitty struck out 3 times or something. And my brother John, he says, God, that Mike Schmidt's terrible. He's terrible. And my brother Ken says to him, he says, you wait, this guy is going to be really, really good.
Welcome back. Spencer Schwellenbach gets back to work here in Braves country. Top of the 4th inning. Righty-lefty matchup. DJ Stewart, the batter. First pitch on the way. He's inside, high. It's 1-0. Braves 2, Pirates 2. Top of 4. The 1-0. Right there for a strike, high and inside, 1-1. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Pirates. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Braves. The 1-1. Chopped towards the first base dugout of your Atlanta Braves, 1-2. There hasn't been any errors, but there have been 2 poorly played balls by O'Neal Cruz out in center field. One led to 2 runs by the Braves. The 1-2 chopped in between the pitcher's mound and short. Arcia's going to barehand it, fire it to first, and just misses getting the runner coming down the line. Stewart has an infield single. Arcia had a long way to go. I'm sorry, that was Riley playing from the shortstop position. He had a long way to go. They were playing Stewart back into the right. And Snicker is going to pull Schwellenbach. I get they got pitch counts, but I just don't understand. Why are these knucklehead managers letting these guys going out here for one more batter? We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country as the right-hander for the Braves comes on in a tie ball game.
It's time for Appalachian Word of the Day. The word of the day is anemone. I was walking up and down the stairs all day yesterday. Anemone started hurting.
Nipply out. I mean nippy out. What did I say? Nipple? There is a nip in the air, though.
Brian, I'm going to single you out. You are only supposed to be taking 1 to 2 snacks per day.
Okay, the snacks in the office are free, though, so what's...
Technically, they are free, but you're not supposed to be taking 20 bags of Doritos at a time.
Okay, that wasn't me. I didn't take...
Actually, it was. Head of security, could you please roll the tapes?
This on September 15th around 7:30 in the morning.
I mean, you're chugging a beer, you're tossing all of the snacks in the cupboard into your knapsack. This is just outrageous.
Okay, this is like one time, 2 months ago, whatever. Like, I don't know what the...
No, bro, I see you doing this on camera all the time. This is not your first offense.
Did you take all of my gluten-free chips?
Wait, none of this would be an issue if you just paid me more, honestly. Like,
we pay you more than enough.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Do I have low-income white girl eyes and trailer park cheekbones? That is a bit concerning.
So at least the potential was there in '73, and the year proved to be pivotal for Schmidt off the diamond as well.
I met my beautiful wife at the end of the 1973 season, having lunch at a place where she was working.
He came in after a golf game with Steve Carlton, and I think his name was Barry Lurch. I knew nothing about baseball. I'm the youngest of 4 girls and didn't care. As the place was basically empty, the waitress they had said, "There's somebody that wants to meet you." He had sunglasses on his head, he was flipping his clog off his foot, and he was just relaxed as can be. So of course I gave him my number. And we went out that weekend, and 3 weeks later we were engaged.
Help support Braves Country Radio. Join the country club today. Welcome back. The 0-1 pitch. It's fouled back into the seats on the right field side over the first base dugout. It's 0-2. The new pitcher for your Atlanta Braves. His go-to misses outside 1-2. We saw this young man the other day. Shenanaman is the 1-2's in the dirt, 2-2. Out of Hastings, New England, he's someone I really want to see make the club just because of his name. The 2-2, caught looking right there at the knees, strikeout, out number 1. This spring, he's thrown 2 2/3 innings with 2 strikeouts. Runner goes. First pitch, fastball right down and inside on the inside track. Just misses for a ball. It's 1-0. DJ Stewart got an enormous lead. By the time Shanaman let go of that ball, he was about halfway down the line, the 1-0. That ball's going to get dropped into right field. De La Cruz picks it up, fires it into the infield. And Stewart will go from second to third. They'll have runners on the corners. 1 away. One down, and Jack Sawinski, top of the order, comes flipping back over for the Pirates. Runners on the corners, 1 out. The go-ahead run at third. Shanaman fires it over to first. Keep the runner close by. Olsen didn't even attempt to tag there. That move was nowhere near getting the runner. First pitch from Shanaman is right there, missing outside. It's 1-0. Really tight strike zone right now by Ryan Wills. The 1-0. Inside 2-0. Talked about this the last time he came in the game, but Shanaman, former college teammate of Schwellenbach at Nebraska. The 2-0, right there, first strike on the outer edge, 2-1. 2-1 count. I would suspect the Braves are going to want everybody to get 3 at-bats this game, the starters, so we still got quite a ways before they'll come out, I would believe. The 2-1. Misses high. Did he go around? They check down the third base line. Third base umpire down there says no dice. Your third base umpire is Tyler Jones. Jeremy Rehak is at second. Will Little at first. And Ryan Wills is behind the plate. The 3-1. Slice foul up against the screen over the Pirates on deck circle. Full count. So full count by Shanaman. Runners at the corners, 1 down. Double play would get us out of this. The pitch. Slice back foul. We'll do it again. The infield is back into the right, but Riley is just about even with the third base bag. I thought he would step back a little bit when they got to 2 strikes, but he is not really. He's still pretty much there. The full count. Ripped over towards first and just foul down the line. If it's fair, that's at least 1, if not 2 runs. With Triolo's speed, he probably scores after De La Cruz would be able to catch up to that in the corner. The full count to Sawinski. Swung on and lifted into left field. Coming in and tumbling and dropping the ball is Jerickson Profar, and he is down. He is holding his wrist, and that is not what you want if you're the Atlanta Braves. The run will score, and it's 3-2, and that's what we talked about earlier, how he should not be out there diving for these balls, and I know it's just instinct, but he is holding his, looks like his left wrist. Oh, that is all they need. Left wrist is what he's holding with his right hand, and the trainer's out there looking at it. And even if there's not a serious injury, that's going to take him out of the lineup because you know they're going to, could be his shoulder because he's got him twisting on the ground. Brian Snicker's going out there as well. It'll take him forever to get out there. This is the last thing the Braves needed. Once again, it looks like Jerickson Profar, if you're just joining us, has injured his left wrist. So they were holding his shoulder as well. So I don't know which one it is. Ozzie, Arcia. We're all surrounding him. Along with Brian De La Cruz. He's got his left shoulder out and holding his wrist, almost like the way as he's walking back, almost like the way that Craig Kimbrell would hang his arm. So I'm sure we won't get any news on this, on what actually happened, but he's still holding. He keeps grabbing near his forearm. Paulini's going to come in and play left field, but that's the least of the news there. This is just not what you want to see. Once again, even if he's not seriously injured, you know they're going to pump the brakes on him getting many more at-bats this spring, which could just lead to, even if he doesn't miss a ton of time, he could just be out there. Even if they're precautionary about this, it's going to cost him at bats in the spring, and that's not what you want as a guy coming in cold. But here's hoping he's not going to miss a ton of time because that was a nasty spill. And why he's out there diving for those balls. The first one earlier in the game, if you remember, I said dropped in front of him and he didn't make much of an effort. As the first pitch swinging here by Brian Reynolds is going to get raked into the corner, just foul down the line. It's 0-1. Runners at second and third. That's the get you caught back up. Pirates have just taken a 3-2 lead, but the big news, Jerickson Profar has been injured. But the first one that dropped in front of him, where he didn't make much of an effort to dive after it, you understood it at spring training. Then he tried to dive after a second one earlier in the game, back in the second inning, and then that one, he took a nasty tumble, hurt his left arm or left wrist. We're not sure, 100% sure which one. The 0-1's fouled back 0-2. So an 0-2 count. It's the biggest thing that I worry about with these spring games is just bubble wrap everybody to get to the, as the 0-2 pitch is swung on and slapped over to Ozzie Albies. He'll flip it over to first, 4-3 put out. Meanwhile, the Pirates have doubled their lead. It's 4-2. You've already got Ronald Acuna Jr. going to miss at least the first month, if not more, of the season. First pitch on the way to O'Neal Cruz is swung on, dragged over to first. Olson's got it. He'll step on the bag, and that'll end the inning. But not before the Pirates score two. But more importantly, Jerickson Profar is out via injury. We'll be back in a flash, see if we can get any kind of news when we return.
Does someone want to tell me how the I'm supposed to buy a gift for a minimalist? What do? Take something away from them?
I'd just like to get on here and publicly apologize to my wife for marrying a second wife in her dreams. It really hurt her feelings, and I just can't believe that I would do such a thing in her dreams. I'm really sorry, my love. And I just want to apologize for yesterday when I was on my way home from work and I called her and asked her if she wanted anything, and she said nothing. And I actually got her nothing when I should have known that she wanted something.
You know what? I think men are better than women.
She's kidding.
No, I'm not. They provide for us, and we must obey them because they are our masters.
Stop it.
You'll never land a beau with that domineering tone.
I went to the doctor yesterday, and the nurse looked at me and said, "Step on the scale." And I looked at her and I was like, I was told there would be no fact checking here.
There may have been no hesitation about moving forward with Donna, but the reality was his baseball career seemed a lot more uncertain.
I very easily could have been sent back down to AAA for another year of seasoning, but at the end of that year, they made a decision to send me to Puerto Rico. Mechanically, I had to make some adjustments. I had to figure it out. So in Puerto Rican Winter League, I had a couple of at-bats that I decided to try to just take a nice easy swing at the ball, try and swing on balance at the ball. And sure enough, first time I tried it, I hit a double off the left center field fence. So I took that whole thinking of just take a nice, smooth, easy swing. You don't have to fall off balance. You don't have to try to pull the ball. Let the ball go where it's going to go all by itself. And after that, I think I really learned to gain confidence in myself. And after the 73 season, I was ready for 1974.
Welcome back. Braves trail 4-2. Brian De La Cruz, the batter, takes the first pitch swinging. He'll line an easy fly ball out there to left field. Sawinski with the catch one away. Michael Harris, the second, now due up. He's 1 for 2 with the single. Haven't seen any real updates. Just one of the Braves are saying what we already know, that he left it on, landed on his left arm, and will update when he knows more. First pitch to Michael Harris is swatted down the right field line, but foul. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. That ball is laced down the right field line again. Bending foul. 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Harris getting a new bat. Looks like he might have splintered that one. Braves 2, Pirates 4. If you're just joining us, Jerickson Profar left via a left arm injury. Couldn't tell if it originally looked like the wrist, but it may have been up higher in the arm, maybe even the shoulder. The 0-2 misses high and out of the zone. 1-2. 1-2 count. Big right-hander Bednar brings it high and out of the zone. 2-2. Bednar at one point was a big time closer for the Pirates. In fact, he was rumored in a lot of trades a few years ago. Then he fell on some tough times. The 2-2 chopper back towards the mound, having to backhand it, fired across the diamond, and Michael the Hawk Harris will beat it out for a base hit. That was all speed and want to by Harris. He was busting it out of the batter's box. He beat it by about a half step or so. Braves have 1 on, 1 out. Drake Baldwin, the batter, righty-lefty matchup. First pitch on the way. Slice down the left field line. It's 0-1. Braves have already lost their starting catcher in Sean Murphy for about 4 to 6 weeks. Now we'll find out what's going on with Profar. I wouldn't think that we'll know anything till probably Monday. The 0-1. Misses high. 1-1. They'll probably do an MRI on him either tonight or early tomorrow, but the way the Braves and most teams work during spring training, there's not a real rush to give you the information. 1-1, chop foul towards first. 1-2. 1-2 count. Orlando Arcia standing on deck. Braves trail 4-2. Still a long way to go in this one. Harris leaning, fakes like he's going to go. And swing and a miss, strike 3. Pirates catcher Rodriguez jumped up to throw Harris out, but he had already retreated back to first. 2 down, Orlando Arcia, the batter. We were plagued with injuries all last year, and you just hope this isn't more of the same. First pitch on the way is high and inside for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Runner at first, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. One count. If Orlando can get on, top of the order would flip over. The 1-1 swing and lifted into left center field. Drifting over, making the running catch is Sawinski, and that'll end the inning. Braves put one on, but can't get him across. We'll be back in the flash. Top of the 5th we go, trailing 4-2.
Sometimes when I find myself in certain situations, I have to say to myself, Linda, don't be crazy. But my name's not Linda, so I'm going to get on that crazy train today. Choo-choo.
What the? Where the hell's the bucket?
What? I didn't go to KFC. I went to that new place, the Fresh and Healthy Chicken Cafe.
The Fresh and Healthy Chicken Cafe?
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
A fresh, B healthy, C cafe.
Here, let me give you some money for the food.
No. Don't you pay her for this. Don't you reward her.
Like the first time I saw Shaq in person, I says, man, number one, damn, he ugly. But then I said, to see a dude that big,
I'm ugly,
that strong.
I didn't watch the whole game Thursday night because I was removing a fork from my eyeball. That was the worst football I have ever seen. I mean, I'm sitting there watching this 12-6 thriller. They should cancel Thursday night football. The players aren't ready to play. There's no preparation. There's a lot at stake, and what you see is sloppy football. We've been saying it for years.
Spring training is a time of new beginnings, and that's just what Mike Schmidt needed after spending much of '73 in Danny Ozark's doghouse.
Well, Danny and I didn't see eye to eye much, and he used to call me Dutch, which, as I understand, meant like dumb Dutchman. Of course, I didn't like that.
I said, you're going to hit the way I want you to hit, or you can take off. I says, your damn 198 average didn't impress me or anybody else, and your 245 average over there didn't impress me.
I'm in the batting cage one day, and I'm just taking a couple of swings, and Danny was standing behind the batting cage, and he said, Dutch, if you don't lay that bat flatter, in other words, lay it flatter like this, as opposed to how I naturally swing the bat, I'm going to send you out of here. I said, well, Danny, you can send me to AAA anytime you want, but I'm not laying my bat flat.
Welcome back. Braves trail this one 4-2. The big news, if you're just joining us, Jerickson Profar out via left arm injury. No details yet. First pitch on the way from your new pitcher, Angel Perdomo, the big left-hander, 6'8". Fires the pitch well and high out of the zone. It's 1-0. 1-0 to McCutcheon. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Perdomo, ex-Pirate. He's battling himself back from injury. 1-1. Right there. Misses off the plate, 2-1. 2-1 count. Pitch from Perdomo is outside wide. 3-1. Four to 2 your score. Top of the fifth. The 3-1 pitch. Misses high and out of the zone. Ball 4, and McCutcheon heads on down to first. Meanwhile, on your out-of-town scoreboard, Georgia beat Vanderbilt 79-68 in college basketball action. Kentucky took down Missouri 91-83, battle of top 20 teams. And Arkansas just outlasted Missouri 93-92, your final. 1 on, nobody out. First pitch, well off the plate wide to Rodriguez. It's 0-1. McCutcheon has been pulled for a pinch runner. Aaron McKeithen, the runner. He's from Asheville, North Carolina. Played for Charlotte and was drafted by the Cardinals back in 2021. The 0-2, lefty, righty. Infield is back into the left. Time is called by Rodriguez. The 0-2 from Perdomo. Swing. Lifts it. Foul down the line, out of play. First base dugout side. The 0-2 pitch. Sizzled back to the backstop. On a foul of the right-handed slugger, 0-2. The 0-2. Outside wide, 1-2. 1-2 count. The pitch, swing, ripped over to third, backhanded by Riley. It's going to be a 5-4-3 double play. Nifty scoop and flip by Riley. That ball was a hot shot. He had just enough time to get the glove down, backhanded it, and then rips it over to Ozzie covering second base. And that is one heck of a play. Might be the play of the day for your Atlanta Braves. First pitch from Perdomo, with 2 outs now to Yorkie. He's outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. P at the knees, but just misses low, 2-0. Two-0 count. Down below the knees. 3-0. The 3-0 pitch. Out and away, ball 4. So after getting out of the jam with the nifty double play, Perdomo probably walks another batter. You've got 1 on, 2 out. Lefty-lefty matchup now with DJ Stewart. He takes the first pitch outside wide. It's 1-0. Someone just sent me a picture Andrew Jones sitting next to Michael Jordan, and they're in the sun, but I don't think that's today's game. I think that's an old picture. The 1-0, that ball's going to get ripped up against the right field wall. De La Cruz fires it back into the infield. They're going to have to hold the runner. Yorkie was thinking about heading home, but De La Cruz has got a very good arm, and he got to that ball with a hurry. In fact, he got it so quickly, it's going to be a long single. That ball was drilled up against the right field wall, and not only could the runner from first not score with 2 outs, the runner at home plate couldn't get to second base. I think I just saw my new favorite thing is Perdomo talking to Baldwin, and you talk about someone towering over someone. Baldwin goes about belt high to Perdomo. He gets up there on the mound talking to him. Kind of reminds me when you see Altuve and Judge standing next to each other. First pitch on the way is swung on and fouled back out of play. It's on 1. Goat's asking if I watch. Oh, yeah, good. I watch a ton of college basketball. If I'm not watching spring training baseball, that's pretty much what I watch. But I watch a lot of obscure leagues. I don't just watch the ranked teams. The 0-1 outside wide, right there for a strike 0-2. Like, for instance, there's an 8 o'clock game tonight that I'm interested in. Cal Baptist is playing at 8 p.m. The 0-2. Just off the track, 1-2. So a 1-2 count. Yeah, UF's got a game tonight. Is it 6 o'clock? The 1-2 in the dirt, strike 3, and that'll end the inning. Perdomo gets out of the jam somehow, some way. A lot of it had to do with Brian De La Cruz and Austin Riley. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
Shout out to all those who can remember their childhood or teenage phone numbers and cannot even remember the passwords they made yesterday. You're my kind of people.
To stay a Brave, did you take a deal that, hey, I want to bring back Smoltz and Maddox and Glavine. I'm willing to take less in order to help the team do that?
Well, I was lucky that I never got to a spring training of a free agent year that I wasn't extended. I'm a firm believer that the grass is not always greener on the other side. I feel like whoever leaves the Braves clubhouse for free agency is not coming back. Once you're courted by big market teams and guys realize how much more money they can make, the Braves cannot compete with the big market club. I did not want to even have that temptation. I had Bobby Cox, I had John Sherholtz, I had a great roster throughout my whole career. I knew we were going to be competitive. I would have done anything, especially take a little less money to assure my future and that we were going to be competitive here in Atlanta. So I don't know that for a fact, but I probably took less than I would have made on the free agent market.
Program, Philly yearbook, scorecard lineup, let up scorecard.
75 after a great 1974 season was unusual. I did get off to a slow start.
Mike Schmidt's struggles in 1975 would persist for most of the first half of the season, and for the first time in his career, he became a target for the fans.
The fans at the vet, they don't want to hear about slumps. I remember the times where he got booed. I remember you stink. That negative stuff stays with you.
He's very sensitive. Everyone wants to be loved, and they were harsh. And I'm a Philadelphian, so I know what harsh is.
You don't like it. It hurts. It hurts a lot. It feels like you've lost fan support. It feels like they don't care about you.
Welcome back. There's a lot of college baseball, too, as well. College baseball, college basketball kind of consumed me till opening day. We were just talking about the college basketball. Duke and North Carolina play tonight. That should be a fun one. It's the first pitch on the way from Holderman. Misses outside for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Kicks and fires up top for a strike. 1-1. 1-1 count. Holderman brings it to Paulini, who's in for the injured Jerkson Profar. 2-1. The 2-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Fastball blew it right by the left-handed bat of Paulini. Evens it up. The 2-2. Swung on and fouled back. Speaking of the Gators, Gators and Knowles play Tuesday night. College baseball. As they renew their annual rivalry. For folks who don't follow that, they'll play one in Tallahassee, one in Gainesville, and then they play one at a neutral site in Jacksonville at what is now the Jumbo Shrimps, Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp Minor League Park. Really nice park. In fact, that game will be 2 weeks after Tuesday. Pitch right there to Ozzie Albies is at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. They're pretty much 2 weeks apart. They'll play each other this Tuesday, and then 2 weeks later as the 0-1 pitch to Ozzie Albies is swung on and dragged in between second and short, and that's through for a base hit, and your Atlanta Braves will bring the tying run to the plate. Good hit by Ozzie Albies, and Austin Riley, who's 1 for 2 with the double, stands in. If you don't follow college baseball, what drives people crazy about rivalry games like that, playing them on Tuesday, is that in college baseball, you typically have your best pitchers pitch on the weekend. Friday night is your ace, Tuesday night's your number 2 guy, and then the Sunday game is usually the number 3. When they play a game on Tuesday, it's either a bullpen game or it's a guy who's not considered very good, and yet you're playing your rivals outside of the conference on those days. First pitch on the way to Riley is down away for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Down and away, 2-0. Now we're at the point where we're just trying to bubble wrap this team and get them to opening day. Sean Murphy out 4 to 6 weeks, and if you're just joining us, Jurickson Profar left with an injured wrist, apparently. You just hope it isn't broken. 2-0. Up top, misses 2-1. He was holding it pretty badly for those of y'all who did not catch it. He went diving for a ball in the outfield, and then when he rolled over, he came up holding his wrist, and the trainers had to go out there and walk him off the field. He held his wrist, and then later on was holding his arm. They were checking his shoulder. So I'd say if nothing else, we won't see him for at least a couple of weeks. First pitch on the way to Riley, or the 2-1 pitch on the way to Riley, swung on, popped up. Big league pop-up high in the sky into left field. That'll fall into the glove of Sawinski for out number 2. 2 down, and Matt Olson's the batter. Espinoza, by the way, is now pinch running for Ozzie, so I'd say this is the last time through the batting order for the starters. Olson, first pitch, down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. And, of course, there is the argument to be made that you want these guys playing hard because season comes around. You don't want them totally flat-footed as the 1-0 pitch is swatted back foul out of play, 1-1. But it's such a delicate balance that you're trying to hit down the back stretch of the spring. How many times should they go through the lineup? And then defensively, you just don't tend to see the veterans out there making dives like Jurickson Profar was. And I know he's probably trying to impress his new team, but you got to have a conversation with him that after that first attempted dive, because that was the second one he dove for in just today's game. The 2-1 to Olsen. Misses high. They're going to fire it down to first to try to backdoor the runner, but he's back underneath the slide. Espinoza, you would assume, would stay in the game. I would say Riley's going to come out along with Olsen. Olsen will probably be lifted for Bunnell, I would guess. The 3-1. Swung on and chopped over to second. It's going to be an easy 4-3 put out, and that'll end the inning. Braves trail 4-2. We head to the bottom of the fifth here in Braves country.
My therapist said I was a people pleaser, and I don't know how to tell her, like, where are these pleased people? She's not pleasing the peoples. There are no pleased peoples. Like, where?
Here's my interpretation of Diddy's lawyer in the courtroom. Your Honor, he was the bottom every time, I swear to God. 1,000 bottles of baby oil, he's got a persistent skincare routine. Hey, if there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that Costco is a treat. Huh? Am I right? Your Honor, my client can't even use oil. He's got a peanut allergy.
I know you pay me a lot of money. What do you want me to say? I'm not the one who bought 1,000 bottles of baby oil. You two goes a long way.
Your Honor, is this going on my record?
I went to go get my glasses today, and guess who I ran into? Everybody.
Hey, Frank, I'm giving this guy a handy under the table. Are you jealous?
She's mashing it. She does that. I'm very aroused. Very good.
What would we call you if you had a big thing?
Daddy.
Asleep, because you'd be dreaming.
It's like they don't understand how hard you were trying.
He cared deeply, and sometimes I don't think that resonated with the fans who were watching about how much he really cared.
He got to the point when he was having a hard time. We set up a batting cage kind of thing, very modest one in the garage, and he would be there till 3 in the morning.
It was never that Mike Schmidt didn't care, but that he cared too much.
Mike Schmidt was trying to defend his home run title. Maybe he was trying too hard.
Mike Schmidt wasn't just a thinker, he was an overthinker. The whole process of how he was going to go about an at-bat became the recurring plot line of Mike Schmidt's career.
Welcome back. Jared Triolo, 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Thanks for the memberships there, James. First pitch on the way from Pilar, swung on, foul back. It's 0-1. It skipped underneath me. I keep trying to scroll to see if I can find anything about the Profar injury, but so far nothing has been released. The 0-1 swung on, foul back. 0-2. We were started the spring out with his first hit saying pro far, pro good. Now it's pro far, pro bad because we don't know how long he may be out. The 0-2 pitch is lifted high into center field, going back. Terrible camera work, so bear with me. The ball is off the wall, and Braves will get it back into the infield, and it's going to be a triple. I don't know which was worse there, the defensive play out there by McCabe. I'm sorry, not McCabe. That was Kilpatrick in center field as the Braves have put their backups in. I don't know which was worse, that defensive attempt or the god-awful camera work. Looked like a view from behind home plate that you would see on a high school report on your Friday night 11 p.m. local television coverage. The 0-1 from Pilar brings it outside wide. 1-1. Braves trail 4-2. Runner at third, nobody out. One, two. Righty-lefty matchup. Pilar digs in. Brings it. Outside wide, 2-2. So 2-2 count. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, strike three. Chased a slider. It was like a frisbee slider on the outside part of the plate. One away. One down, and Reynolds will give way to Cruz. Unless they pinch hit here, and it looks like they may have. Brian Reynolds digs in. First pitch. Misses outside wide. 1-0. They did keep Reynolds in. And they are going through their fourth at bat, so Pirates may be playing this all the way through till at least the seventh. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Usually see these guys play much deeper when they go on these road games, especially the deeper we get into spring. The 1-1 count. Runner at third, one out. If you're just joining us or jumping back in, Jurickson Profar injured. It's the 1-1. Bangs it down towards the third base line, 1-2. Rolled over on his left arm. They took him out of the game. He was favoring that left arm. And as of right now, we have not seen an update. The 1-2, time is called. And they're going to say that Profar, I'm sorry, no, I got Profar on the brain. Pilar, pitch count violation, pitch clock violation, so that'll be a 2-2 count. Jurickson Profar jammed his left wrist. I'm getting this just now. Initial x-rays are negative, so that's a good sign. As the 2-2 pitch, down below the knees, full count. And he is set to undergo further testing. They have not determined when. It could be tomorrow, it could be Monday, considering they may want to wait for the swelling to go down. But so far, that's a decent report that Profar initially may have just jammed his wrist and did not show any breakage. So if you're just joining us once again, Profar, who was injured, left the game as strike three on the batter, 2 away. 4-2 your score, but the more important thing that we're talking about right now is the Profar injury. So Profar, his first pitch off the plate to Cruz is outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Jurickson Profar, who was injured, they've done an MRI or an X-ray. Excuse me, not an MRI, an X-ray. It's come back negative. They said he jammed his wrist, and they're going to do an MRI either tomorrow or it could be tonight, but probably tomorrow or Monday. 1-0 down and in, 2-0. 2-0 count. So that's somewhat is a 2-0 outside wide, 3-0. Yeah, Robert, you can thank James for your membership. What do you mean he's been complaining about it for a while? You can always purchase one, your freeloader. The 3-0. Outside wide. Ball 4. So Pilar, who gets the first 2 batters after that triple, and then walks O'Neill in 4 pitches. That'll bring Aaron McKeithen, who's in for McCutcheon. He's the only starter so far that has been lifted by the Pirates, I believe. Yeah, he's the only one so far. First pitch on the way to McKeithen is in the dirt. Slider, it's 1-0. 1-0. Kicks and fires, runner goes. Here comes the throw down to third, and nowhere near in time. O'Neill Cruz steals that base with ease. 2-0. 2-0 count. And that was Chadwick Tromp, not Baldwin, that they stole that on. The 2-0. Inside 3-0. So Pilar's really dialing up the pitch count now. Runners on second and third. 2 outs. He's got a strikeout and a 4-pitch walk to his credit, along with the triple given up. The 2-1. 3-1. That pitch was nowhere near the zone. The 3-1. Right inside for a strike, 3-2. The batter McKeithen dropped his back. He was ready to head on down to first. Full count, second and third, 2 outs. The 3-2. Swing, pops it up into shallow left field. Who's going to make the play? Your guess is as good as mine because the camera work is terrible. Looks like it was made over there by the shortstop. My God. I mean, it's spring training for everybody, but whoever's running the cameras, they need to leave them down in Florida. We'll be back in a flash. That was Tavares that made the catch. End of the inning. Here are your 2025 National League Central PECOTA projections. Projected in last place in the NL Central, the Cincinnati Reds at 74.9 wins, 87.1 losses. In fourth, it's the Pittsburgh Pirates, 75.5 wins to 86.5 losses. St. Louis Cardinals are projected at 77.7 wins and 84.3 losses. The Milwaukee Brewers, defending division champions, are projected to just miss the 80 mark at 79.8 with 82.2 losses. And the Chicago Cubs are being projected to run away with the NL Central at 91.5 wins and 70.5 losses. Your Braves Country Radio predictions for 2025 in the NL Central. Finishing in last place, give me the St. Louis Cardinals. They'll struggle to get above the 72 win mark. Coming in fourth, I'll take an improved Pittsburgh Pirates team to just be under 500 with 79 wins. Give me the Milwaukee Brewers to take a step back and be right around 500. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt and see 82 wins. And the Cincinnati Redlegs to finish in second in the NL Central. A good young core takes the next step and finishes just above 500 with 82 to 83 wins. The Chicago Cubs will win the NL Central, but not by a landslide. Give me the Cubs to win the Central, getting it done with 86 wins. And that's your Braves Country Radio 2025 Pacoda projections. Make sure to tune in Wednesday, March 26th for Braves Country Radio's 2025 preview show. We'll do predictions for all 30 Major League Baseball teams Wednesday, March 26th, right here on Braves Country Radio. Welcome back.
This is a reminder, disorderly conduct will not be tolerated. Please respect your fellow fan and refrain from any unruly behavior. Failure to comply with these guidelines will result in ejection.
Grady is on to play designated hitter for Marcell Ozuna. He's quickly down 0-2. We added that clip. I wanted to play that for y'all. We added that clip for later on this year when we face the types of fans like the Phillies fans and whatnot. The 0-2. Down in 1-2. I thought it was pretty funny. That's the great, I can't think of his name now. Bob Shepard. We found that clip. That was from back in, I want to say 2007, 2006, somewhere in that neighborhood. The 1-2 swung on and lifted back out of play. We'll do it again. 1-2 count. Here's the pitch from the left-hander. Swung on and chopped it off his foot. Looked like off his instep, and he went down. Man, that is going to smart. Youngster's walking it off. But I'm telling you right now, he's going to be in the ice tub later. So 1-2 count. The batter, Jace Grady, as they're walking it off, is out of Austin, Texas. He was drafted by the Braves in the 11th round out of Dallas Baptist a couple of years ago in the 2023 draft in the 11th round. The 1-2. Slice foul and out of play. Miza, the left-hander, stands back on the mound. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Up top, misses 2-2. Miza spent last year in Augusta and in Rome. It's a single A and double A. He batted .271 altogether. The 2-2 caught looking strike three right there on the outer cut. One away. Though he's the designated hitter today, he's a right fielder. Patrick Clohissy is now the batter. He's in for De La Cruz. First pitch on the way, swing and a miss by the left-hander. It's 0-1. Lefty-lefty matchup. He is from St. Louis, Missouri. He was drafted by the Braves last year in the 11th round out of St. Louis University. The 0-1. Swung on, high chopper, Baltimore chopper high in the sky. Here comes the throw, and it'll be fumbled in the infield, and that should be an infield single by Clohissy. Patrick Clohissy. That's a mouthful. I'm just going to call him Chloe. Chloe is on with one on and one out. Kilpatrick. Kevin Kilpatrick, the batter, first pitch swinging by the center fielder. Lefty-righty matchup. It's a miss. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Lefty righty. Slice back foul, 0-2. (0-2) count. Here's the pitch inside. Ball gets away. Clohisi's going to take off. Did it get him? They're going to say he got up under the tag. Terrible camera angle, so there's no real way to be able to see whether or not he beat that tag or not, but they're giving it to him. So runner at second, 1 out. Braves could cut this lead in half. Lefty-righty matchup. First pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Kilpatrick down on strikes. 2 down. Two down, and Chadwick Tromp, your batter. He's batting just 125 in the spring. The 250 OPS. He's trying to make this team, but I don't think it's a given that he does make the team. If he doesn't hit better in the spring, they may have to say goodbye to him. First pitch on the way is swung on and missed for a strike. It's 0-1. You would think he's got the inside beat over. Most likely his biggest threat would be Sandy Leone. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. But he's looked very bad at the plate this spring, and I know it's just a few games into the spring training, but we are essentially just about 2 weeks in. The 0-2. Pops it up. You just like to see him start getting some base hits or at least some good contact. That ball was popped up behind home plate. I thought it was going to fall, but anyways, bad camera angle. Looks like they made the catch, and that'll end the inning. So we'll head to the top of the 7th, and the Braves trail 4-2 here in Braves country. We'll be back in a flash.
So when I was young, I was hella poor, okay? But after years of hard work, I'm no longer young.
I would rather in my hands and clap.
One time I was at work and we had a new employee, and a couple months later she added me on Facebook and she came up to me and she said, "Hey, I just realized you're actually kind of not ugly because you wear makeup in your pictures on Facebook." I think about that till this day.
You know, if you ever met me, you'd think I was on medication. But if you ever got to know me, you'd wonder why I'm not.
Who knew that so much of adulting would be spent trying to keep yourself awake during the day and then also trying to get yourself to sleep during the night, all while just slowly getting worse at both?
Paralysis by analysis is such a great way to sum up Mike Schmidt's mentality and, as he called himself, a head case. Paralysis by overanalyzing to a point where you can't perform, you can't get the job done.
And that's the one thing I used to talk to Mike about all the time when he would start thinking about his hitting and all, about not to get too deep with it, just trust his work and his talent.
We're playing at Wrigley Field, and the wind, it had to be blowing 45 miles an hour, blowing out. And he's talking with Danny Ozark. And he says, "Hey, Danny," he says, "don't be afraid to put a hit and run on with me today because it makes me stay in and hit the ball the other way." And I turned around and I said, "Mike, do you see that flag out there? You can hit a ball off your knuckles and it's going to go out. You got to pick another ballpark for a hit and run." As it turned out, he ended up hitting, I think he hit 3 home runs that day. But you're talking about overanalyzing and swinging everything. He felt he needed something to get him motivated and get going.
Please like and subscribe today. YouTube.com/@BravesCountry. Eyeglasses is in the game. We saw this the other day where they brought him in the 7th inning. First pitch is down and in for a ball. It's 1-0 from Raziel Iglesias, the Braves closer. 1-0. This is high, 2-0. 2-0 count to Rodriguez. The pitch. Slap back foul, 2-1. These MLB video games are just, I mean, they are just terrible. The camera angles are awful, but then also whoever's doing the production, directing, picking which camera to use each time, they are less than to be desired. The 2-1 pitch, swatted foul, out of play, 2-2. Two count. Slice back foul again. We'll do it again. We saw Iglesias the other night. He had a 12 pitch first at bat, and that was the only guy he faced. The 2-2. Slice back foul again. We'll do it again. I'm just wondering how many pitches Snicker will allow him to throw tonight. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three, I guess. They changed they were focusing on Tuiasa Sopo in the dugout during that pitch for whatever reason, went away. Like I said, the people who are directing and producing these games are just not good at their job. First pitch on the way is down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. Righty-lefty matchup. Valdez in for Yorkie. The 1-0. Right there at the knees for a strike, 1-1. 1-1 count. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Righty-lefty matchup. Valdez digs in on the 1-2 from Eyeglasses. Swung on in. That's going to get corkscrewed over towards third. Riley's going to throw it across the diamond, but no chance to get the runner busting it down the line. He had a long way to go. A short time to get there. Valdez beats that out for an infield single. One on, one out. First pitch, swung on, chops it over towards third. Riley's got it. It's going to be a 5-4 pullout. They're going to attempt the double play, but to no avail, 2 down. Two down. That'll bring Hall to the plate. Derek Hall, spelt with an A. First pitch on the way is right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Righty-lefty matchup. He's in for IKF. He was at short. The 0-1. Kicks back foul. 0-2. An 0-2 count. Iglesias, his third showing of the spring. Just the second time here where we have been able to see him. The 0-2. Ripped over to second. It's going to be an easy 4-3 putout, and that'll end the inning. So, puts one on, but other than that, Iglesias looks pretty well heading towards regular season form. We'll be back in a flash. Braves trail 4-2.
Oh, man, Mike, don't shut up. Oh, shut your ass up. Let's go.
Lesbians.
While often lumped together, gay men and lesbians have less in common than one might think.
I am so sorry we have to meet like this, but I'm sure you can understand as parents the instinct to protect your child.
Yeah, it's what makes me want to punch you in the neck right now.
Enough. I want you and your kids to have a family play date. Maybe if the four of you can get along, you can set a better example for your children.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
Fine. We'll host, obviously.
Obviously?
Well, I assume you have an unfinished woodworking project at your house.
You've got a lot of nerve.
Yeah, and you've got half a canoe in our living room.
I look forward to your frittata.
Oh, why? Are you visiting us in 2008?
He took the game so seriously. It was almost tunnel vision, so that he had to tune out me, the fans, everything, in order for him to be as good as he felt he should be.
In my opinion, paralysis from analysis, I think analysis and adjustments and the thinking that I did, I think allowed me to become the player that I became. The last half of the season in 1975, I got really hot, and I did hit enough home runs to lead the league. My RBIs were down into the 90s, I believe. That's a pretty good feat in itself.
The following year, Schmidt again got off to a slow start at the plate. This time, it would be veteran teammate Dick Allen who helped him come out of it.
I had been in a really cold spell. It was in mid-April, so fairly early in the season. And Dick Allen, he kept me back in the clubhouse as the team went on the field. And Dick told me, let's have some fun out there. Let's smile more. Let's try to relax. You know, it's just a game. Surely I didn't play the game with that kind of an attitude until that day. I went out there and I hit a home run. And then I hit a home run. And then I hit a home run. And then I hit a home run.
Here's Mike Smith. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. And Mike Smith has drilled his fourth straight home run.
Your home for the classic called Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back. Tavares is your batter. Amburios Tavares, or as AT as he'll be known going forward. He is from the Dominican Republic. First pitch on the way. Well outside, high and wide. It's 1-0. Tavares batting .500 on the spring, 1 for 2. The 1-0. Up top for a strike, 1-1. He does have a stolen base as well. 21-year-old. Been in the Braves organization since 2022. The 1-1. Chop foul down the first base line, 1-2. One-two count. Braves trail 4-2. Bottom 7. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice. Nasty. Change up. 1 away. One down. Righty-lefty lefty-lefty matchup, excuse me. Inside for a strike. Paulini. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Frisbee slider on the outer edge, 0-2. 0-2 count. Espinoza stands on deck. Braves trail 4-2. The 0-2 lifted into right field, drifting back. Caught deep in right field. We assume 2 away. I mean, I know the cameras were better than this at the beginning of the game. Did half the guys go on lunch break and didn't come back? I mean, they're just basically doing this with about 2 or 3 cameras now. The one deep behind home plate, the one on the side, as the first pitch is swung on and lifted into left field. And we're going to assume that he caught that one. That'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down, or so we've been told. We'll be back in a flash. Top of the 8th we go, trailing 4-2.
So this guy named Marco finally talks his wife into going to Marathon, Florida on a fishing trip for their 20th anniversary. This is the last thing that she wants to do for a wedding anniversary because she's over the whole fishing hobby. But she says, okay. So he's out grabbing bait at the bait store when he gets accosted by this particularly shabby homeless man who says to him, "Sir, can I please have $10 to buy some food? I'm starving." He takes one look at him and he says, "You gonna buy beer with this $10? He says, no, sir, I gave up drinking years ago." "You gonna buy bait with this?" He goes, "No, sir, I don't have time to fish anymore. I'm just trying to stay alive." And he goes, "Are you gonna buy hunting gear with this?" He goes, "Sir, I'm in Marathon, Florida. Where would I even hunt?" "No, I just want to get a burger." So he looks at him and he goes, "I'm gonna do one better for you. I'm gonna bring you home with me and you're going out to a fancy dinner with me and my wife tonight." And he goes, "Sir, won't your wife be furious about this?" He goes, Yeah, she will, but I think it is really, really important that she see what happens to a man who gives up drinking, hunting, and fishing.
Mike Smith has drilled his fourth straight home run.
That turned out to be one hell of a day for me. And in terms of the Phillies, I think we won like 50 out of the next 63 ball games from that day on in 1976.
He'd go on to have another all-star season, and the Phillies would stay hot all summer long, looking to reach the postseason for the first time since the 1950 Whiz Kids. They had a 15-game lead at the end of August, but a slump shrunk it to just 3 by the middle of September. That slump agitated the fans, and no one was free from their wrath.
I remember one time someone was behind me and saying, "That Schmidt's wife, boy, is she ugly." And I do believe at that time I was pregnant, which is like hormones are an all-time high. I mean, people are very cruel when they want to be.
Welcome back. Braves lead it, or trail, 4-2. Pierce Johnson in the game. We haven't seen him much this spring. Raises his red glove, righty-lefty matchup. First pitch on the way. Fastball ripped down the right field line. Into the corner. It's going to be a leadoff double. That fastball got all of the plate. And it's a leadoff double for the Pirates. Bryce Johnson, the center fielder, standing on second with the leadoff double. Gorski, the left fielder, now coming on. Matt Gorski, righty-righty matchup. First pitch on the way. Right there on the outer edge for a strike. Curveball, it's 0-1. Gorski has 3 home runs this spring and a .333 batting average. 27-year-old out of Indiana. The 0-1. Bender on the outer edge for a strike. It's 0-2. The 0-2 count. Lifted. That ball's going to get dropped into center field. That should score a runner. It will, and it's going to be an RBI single. The Pirates lead at 5-2. Five to 2 your score. How about this White Sox prospect, Shane Smith? If you're not familiar with who he is, he's pretty high tops prospect for the White Sox. In the first inning, and granted it's spring training, but still, in the first inning of his game versus the Dodgers, just moments ago, he struck out Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, and Will Smith. I mean, if he doesn't do anything the rest of his life, he'll be hanging on to that story in bars from here till eternity. The 0-1 pitch misses inside 1-1. 1-1. Pitch on the outer track for a strike. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. 1-2 count. Pierce Johnson comes set. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss, strike 3. One away. There's a stat out here that was put out. And I'm going to assume it's true, even though he didn't do too much today. Entering today, only one hitter has taken 25 plus swings in spring training without whiffing. And that's Braves catcher Drake Baldwin. Pitch on the way from Pierce Johnson is right there for a strike on the outer edge, 0-1. Huge lead, and the runner steals second with ease. It looked like defensive indifference the way they treated it, because Chomp didn't even make an offering down there to second. The 0-1. Pierce Johnson turns around. He had the runner dead to rights, but nobody was covering the bag. Gorski dove back into second base, but nobody was covering the bag, or he would have been dead meat. And if you're wondering, Baldwin did strike out today. So I feel like that guy jinxed us. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, 2 down. Two down. We're back on the call Monday, 1:05 first pitch. Rays, Braves. 12:45 will come on the air, 1:05 first pitch. The first pitch swinging, looked it high and deep into center field. Drifting back on the track and making the catch is Kilpatrick, and that'll end the inning. The Pirates put one on. It's 5-2. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Here in Braves country, we grab the bats when we come back.
I just found out something super exciting. Before you go to any of your holiday meals, guess what? Telling people to f off is gluten-free.
AC/DC makes me think of Back in Black, but the battle between AC and DC was full of legitimate, dirty deeds done dirt cheap. The War of the Currents was waged largely between two men, Thomas Edison and his former employee, a quirky Serbian immigrant named Nikola Tesla. Tesla was a proponent of alternating current, but Edison had already invested heavily in his direct current system and had major money backers to answer to. Tesla stormed out, and George Westinghouse, Edison's chief rival, jumped at the chance to buy Tesla's AC patents. After a long and dirty propaganda effort, complete with lawsuits, patent stealing, corporate takeovers, and the invention of the electric chair, the current war was over. Edison had won, except he didn't. Against his wishes, the Edison General Electric Company would wind up adopting alternating current, validating his rival Tesla, and after mergers with the likes of J.P. Morgan, Edison not only lost direct current, but his company dropped his name as well, becoming General Electric. As for Tesla, he died penniless, but his remaining work was seized by the FBI and given for analysis to an MIT scientist named John G. Trump, whose nephew is,
When I was younger, I used to go to concerts and stuff that started at 8 p.m., but now I don't because that is the middle of the night.
I eat like string beans and green peas.
Pasta?
Yeah, I eat some pasta.
Okay.
Yeah, I eat some pasta.
Chicken, steak, all the regular stuff.
Yeah, all
no
the regular.
seafood though?
No, I'm allergic.
At the vet, where the cars were parked, we'd have to walk up this long tunnel and we'd be exposed to the fans. And Mike, he was the lightning rod of everything in Philadelphia. So people said some terrible things.
Back then, ball players parked in a parking lot that was accessible to people. And it was a game every night, how we escaped the park without everybody seeing us. And we would go up some stairs in the boiler room or some crazy stuff. And I think the escape artist in us back then was sort of, what are we going to do tonight?
Welcome back. Braves trail 5-2. Batten, the right-handed Third baseman stands up there. First pitch outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Kyle Nicholas, the right-hander. Pitch swung on, lifted deep into the outfield, and that ball is going to go off the wall, and it's going to be a leadoff double for your Atlanta Braves. Looks like the ball hopped the fence, so it'll ground rule double. Batten was starting to head towards third when he realized the ball jumped over the fence. David McCabe, the batter, righty-lefty matchup. The first baseman digs in. First pitch up top for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires way outside wide, 1-1. 1-1 count. David McCabe, 24-year-old from Ontario, Canada. Played his college ball at Charlotte. With the 1-1 inside, 2-1. He was drafted by the Braves in the 4th round in 2022. 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch, swung on and ripped over towards the right side of the infield. It's going to be a 3-1 put out. One away on the ground ball. The runner heads over to third. One down. Out of town scoreboard looks like this. Rays 6-1 over the Orioles in the 9th. First pitch on the way is right there for a strike to Tolve. It's 0-1. Twins 7-4 of the Red Sox in the 8th. Blue Jays losing to the Phillies 5-2 in the 8th. The 0-1. You go around, they're going to say he did 0-2. White Sox Dodgers scoreless in the 2nd inning. Rangers 1-0 over the Royals in the 2nd. Mariners over the Cubs 2-0 in the 2nd. The 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Tolve down on 3 quick strikes, 2 down. Diamondbacks and Reds, along with the Giants and Royals, they are both scoreless, and they're both heading to the bottom of the 2nd. Angels 3, Brewers 1 in the 2nd. Guardians and Padres scoreless in the 1st. First pitch swinging here by the Braves is pop up in the infield. Put it down as F4 in your scorecard, and that'll end the inning. So after the leadoff double, it's 3 up, 3 down. We head to the 9th inning here in Cool Today Park.
Do lizards just ever look at snakes and be like, Lieutenant Dan?
Suspect's laugh so intense we had to invest in waterproof furniture.
Suspect's been spotted wearing the same shirt for 3 damn days.
Suspect's morning hair is so wild even the birds are jealous of that nest.
Shut up. Suspect claims to be on a diet, but he hasn't had a salad in 3 weeks.
Suspect's idea of foreplay is saying, all right, let's get this over with.
Yeah, because I want to eat dinner.
Oh, they're flying the tiny instruments in from El Paso.
El Paso. I spent a month there one night.
We are a generation that will never come back. A generation that walked to school and then walked back. A generation that did their homework alone to get out ASAP to play in the street. A generation that spent all their free time in the streets with their friends. A generation that collected sports cards. A generation that made paper toys with their bare hands. A generation who bought vinyl albums to play on record player. A generation that played board games and cards on rainy days. A generation whose TV went off at midnight after playing the national anthem. A generation that is passing, and unfortunately, it will never return no matter how hard we try. I loved growing up when I did. It was the best of times. We are a generation that will never come back.
One night, Mike looks at me and he goes, will you go get my car and pull it up? Because I don't want to walk out in front of all those people. I just want to get my car and go home. And I looked at him and I said, Mike, you know I'm an all-star too. And he sort of looked at me like, oh yeah, I did go get his car. And I brought it, he got in it, and then I went and got my car. And we went and we had something to eat. But Mike wishes he could, after the game was over, tunneled underneath his home to Media, PA, wherever he's living, come up, be in his house, because that's just who Mike was.
Help support Braves Country Radio. Join the country club today. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way from Pierce Johnson. He's out there for another inning of work, misses high. It's 1-0. PJ, righty-righty matchup. Lifts the red glove and swing. That ball's lifted into left center field. Going back on the track, making the catch is Kilpatrick out there on the warning track. One away. One down. Righty-lefty matchup. First pitch on the way. Spun him around. Inside, almost got him on the belt. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Rips and fires. Swung on, chopped foul. 1-1. 1-1 count. Pierce Johnson brings it. Fastball right there at the knees, 1-2. Braves play the Rays on Monday. We'll have the call. Tuesday, it is the Tigers. We'll also bring you Thursday's game against Philly and Friday's game against Washington. Come on the air at 12:45, all four ball games. First pitch, 105 to 1-2. Inside, did not get the call. Man, that looked close, 2-2. The 2-2 from Johnson brings it. Swing and a miss, strike three. Blew it right by him with the gas on the outer edge. 2 down. Two down. Solak, the right fielder, comes to the plate. He's batting .353 this spring. First pitch on the way is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Pierce brings it. Up high and out of the zone, 1-1. 1-1 count. Kicks and fires. Chop foul back behind home plate. We'll do it again. The following week, here on Braves Country Radio, we've got the Monday game, which is a As the 0-2 pitch is swung on. That ball's going to go off the foot of Pierce Johnson. They're going to fire it across the diamond. And looks like he beat it out. I mean, these camera angles are ridiculous. The last camera angle they showed right before the throw might have been on someone's shoe because I don't know what the hell it flashed to. But anyways, looks like it was an infield single to beat it out. Solak on first. March 17th will be here for the Boston Red Sox and Atlanta Braves. It is a spring training game on St. Patrick's Day. Then we're back at it that Wednesday, the 19th, against the Yankees. And that that Saturday against Detroit. Then we're here on the 24th against the Cubs, and then we are off to opening day on the 27th. Got an 0-1 count for Pierce Johnson. The 0-1. Kicks and fires, swing, and fouls it straight back. 0-2. Pittsburgh 5, Braves 2. Top of the 9th inning. The 0-2. Pretty good lead over there at first. Here's the pitch. Swing and ripped into right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Ball's going to get cut off and thrown back into the infield, but not before the Pirates go first to third on that single, and they've got runners on the corners, 2 outs. Good hustle by Solak. Brian Snicker's going to come out and get Pierce Johnson. And that'll do it for Pierce, so we'll be back in a flash. Another pitching change here in Braves country. The Braves, Pirates, top of the 9th. 2 outs, and the right-hander coming in for the relief. Welcome back. Runners on the corners, 1 out. First pitch up top for a strike. It's 0-1. Pierce Johnson out of the game. Jimenez, that's Danny Jimenez, comes on, the right-hander. The 0-1. This is outside. 1-1. Jimenez just one outing so far with a high 2.7 ERA and a 1.2 whip. 1-1, misses outside, 2-1. He's from San Cristobal, the Dominican Republic. Played for Oakland the last 3 years, before that San Francisco. Lifetime ERA of 3.93, trying to make the team. So he might be a bit of a long shot. The 2-1, right there on the outer edge, 2-2. 6'1", 182 pounds. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that will end the inning. Braves will grab the bats one last time, try to put 4 on the board and walk this off. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
This is the career of Whitey Herzog. Doral Norman Elvert Herzog was given the nickname Whitey due to his light blonde hair. After spending time between the Senators, the Athletics, the Orioles, and the Tigers over his 8-year playing career, he decided to call it quits. His first stop after hanging up his cleats would be with the Athletics, where he worked as a scout and a coach. His first managerial job would be with the Texas Rangers, but it would be short-lived as he was fired that same year after the team went 47 and 91. He then moved on to the Angels, who hired him as their third base coach in 1974. His big break would come when he took over as the manager of the Kansas City Royals in 1975. He led the Royals to 3 straight American League West division titles from 1976 to 1978. The last stop on his managerial tour would be with the Cardinals, where he spent 11 seasons. He would lead them to a World Series win in 1982 and 2 other appearances in 1985 and 1987. In total, he led 6 division winners, 3 pennant winners, and 1 World Series win. His extensive baseball background would lead him to becoming a general manager with both the Cardinals and the Angels. He is known for a style of play nicknamed Whitey Ball, which concentrates on pitching, speed, and defense to win games rather than home runs. He was inducted in the Baseball Hall of Fame by the Veterans Committee in 2010. To close it out, I'll share a quote by Whitey himself. "Baseball has been good to me since I quit trying to play."
One of those forms of gentle poetry that runs through our lives and makes the more important issues of living bearable. You have to have moments that give you pleasure with your children or your hobbies or your games. And life can't all be big issues and heart surgery. You need something to give up. Something has to bring joy into the day. I've always thought that the 6 months during the baseball season, there was something in the day that wasn't there the other 6 months in winter. It was not that you had to listen to the game, but that you could if you needed it.
Swing and a miss, and he took a mighty cut. Quite a touching sight. Everyone standing at Fenway Park as Ted Williams hit probably for the last time in a Boston uniform in this ballpark. Alarcik back to the wall. There's a drive to deep right center. This may be gone. Brad way back there watching. Home run, Ted Williams.
Welcome back. Kevin Kilpatrick leads us off. He's 0-for-1 with the strikeout. Lefty-righty matchup. First pitch on the way, swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Left-hander on for the Pirates. It's the 9th pitcher of the afternoon as the 0-1 misses outside 1-1. Jaden Woods, the southpaw out of Macon, Georgia, played his college ball at the University of Georgia. The 1-1 swing and a miss up top, 1-2. Drafted by the Pirates in 2023 in the 7th round. The 1-2 misses high, 2-2. Two count. Swing. That ball sliced foul out of play. We'll do it again. Two pitch. Fisted into right field. Who wants it? Who's going to make the play? And looks like it's going to be a leadoff single for your Atlanta Braves. 1 on, nobody out. Seeing eye single. They were playing him into pull, so when he hit it to the right side of the field, the only person who really would have had a normal shot at it would have been the second baseman, but he was playing over on the second base bag. He had such a far way to run, ball dropped right in front of him. Chadwick Tromp, the batter, he takes the first pitch upstairs for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Woods brings it inside 2-0. 2-0 count. Braves trail 5-2. There are no extra innings here in spring training unless the two managers come to a head earlier, but you know that's not the case because they've already dumped out the roster. The 2-0 chopped over towards third. That's going to be off the glove, and it's going to be an infield. It's either going to be an E5 or an infield single. I'll tell you what was disheartening about that is Tromp almost got thrown out because he was Cadillacing down there to first and took a wide turn and then finally realized he better get over there and step on the bag. He's not doing a whole hell of a lot to make the case for him to make this roster on the 27th. First pitch on the way is off the plate wide to Tavares. It's 0-1. The 0-1 to Tavares. Number 9 hitter. Paulini stands on deck. Misses outside wide, 1-1. That ball went off the third baseman. He took him a minute to corral it. He goes to throw it over to first, and he took such a long time. It was unbelievable that was a close play. The 2-0 pitch swung on. That ball's going to get rifled into left field. That's down for a base hit, and the Braves got one on the board. It's 5-3, and we'll have runners on the corners and nobody out. The winning run is coming to home plate. Don't go anywhere. It's not quite over yet, Braves country. Stephen Paulini, who came in for the injured Jerickson Profar at the beginning, I guess it was the third or fourth inning of this game. He stands in. First pitch on the way, lefty-lefty matchup is right there at the knees on the outer edge. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Runners on the corners, nobody out. The 0-1. Swung on and fouled back out of play. It's 0-2. So an 0-2 count. It's 5-3, though. If you're watching the game on the video, MLB video, it's showing 6-5 Braves, and the bases are empty. So are they foreshadowing? Or is this just a big-time screw-up? The 0-2 swung on. That ball's going to get dumped into left field. That's going to get down where the green grass grows. One run will score. It is 5-4. And we've got runners on the corners once again. How about that? The runner will actually make it to second base. So we got runners on second and third and nobody out. Lefty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. Swung on, chopped over towards short, and bobbling the ball, and we'll come home with it. And we got ourselves a tie ball game. It's 5-5. God-awful camera work, but what I can tell you is the ball was bobbled over there in the infield. They thought about coming home with it. By the time he corralled it, realized he had no play, and the Braves have tied it up. So 5-5. The over is hit. If the Braves win, your money line will have hit. First pitch on the way, right there at the knees on the outer edge. It's So 0-1. 5-5 your score. Runner at first. Runner at second. 1 out. Matthew Batten, the batter. Lefty righty. The pitch inside. 1-1. Standing on deck is McCabe. The infield is back and to the left. Huge hole on the right side. The pitch swung on, lifted into the outfield. Here comes the runner, round third. Chugging. Braves win! Braves win! Your Atlanta Braves win! Whiskey for my beer, whiskey for my men, beer for my horses, and your Atlanta Braves walk it off in fine fashion. 6-5 your final. Holy cow! The baby Braves come back up off the mat and win this one. If you went outside for a smoke, you missed it. The Braves walk it off. Back to back to back to back. Ball game is over. Hit after hit after hit. 6 runs, 12 hits, no errors for your Atlanta Braves. 5 runs, 15 hits, 1 error for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Your winning pitcher is going to be Jimenez. The loser will be Woods. His ERA will go to 37.8, the ex-Bulldog. Ouch. And that'll do it. Braves get the W. We will improve to 7 wins, 3 losses, and 3 ties. 4 losses and 3 ties in spring play. And that'll be it. We'll see you Monday. What an ending for those of y'all that stayed. How about that? Have a great one, Braves country.